in Port Harcourt. I'm at 12 minutes going past 3 p.m. and you're welcome to the show once again. From now till 7, we keep it going, keeping the spotlight on the very, very important matters. I very much hope that you've had yourselves a fine week. It's been a very eventful week for Nigeria and Nigerians, and even those here in Rivers State as well. So much happening in our dear country at this time, and we must remain optimistic. And I do appreciate how tough that can be. I'm not trying to sound, I never try to sound overly, what's the word now? More Nigerian than any, I'm not more Nigerian than any other Nigerian out there. But we do have to be optimistic. We must remain optimistic. As a matter of fact, in my estimation, we have no choice but to remain optimistic. And optimism doesn't include praying to God about it. And by the way, please go ahead and pray. I promised at least for some time to stop answering that with God is busy in Afghanistan and Syria. I mean, we need whatever it is that can help us cope with the situation right now. So if that's what's going to help you cope, please go ahead and do that. But beyond praying to God or leaving it in God's hands, we can't afford to stand on the sidelines any longer. We must rise up, we must act, we must do something, we must pay attention to the affairs of our country, we must get involved somewhere or another, because literally speaking, your life, my life, our lives depend on it, literally. And I think it's becoming clear now, and I've said this for months or years, and I had a conversation with a friend earlier today. It's got nothing to do with being overly intelligent. I think anybody could have seen this coming. We've got to that point, and it can't get worse, by the way, where even your security detail is no longer enough. High walls, high fences are no longer enough. Even the seat of power, Abuja, appears to no longer be enough. You heard what's happening at the National Assembly, security being beefed up everywhere. Wearing a uniform and bearing firearms doesn't even guarantee your safety any longer. That's sad, unfortunate, and I feel bad once again that sadly so security operatives were killed. But that is the era that we are in, and it was inevitable. It was inevitable that we would get to this point. However, this is not the worst. It can get worse. Imagine a situation worse than this, but we can avert that from happening. We will not accomplish that by saying there's nothing you can do, nothing you can do. No, we have to do something, because once again, doing nothing guarantees that the situation will get worse. Now that's a given. Doing something at least provides a chance, a possibility, a probability that something will give, that we will change the narrative. So which is better? The logic is very simple. There's nothing complex about it. You don't have to be Sheldon Cooper to figure this one out. You don't have to be a Nobel Prize winner to figure this one out. The only option we have, the sensible option we have, the right thinking option we have, is to do something. INEC has given the date for the well, maybe not details yet, but for the general elections come 2023, February 18, I think, is the date. Do something. Vote. Do something. It doesn't matter what President Buhari does, doesn't matter what INEC does, do something. Play a role. And let your standards or your yardstick no longer be structure or on grandness. Structure and on grandness is to a great degree responsible for where we are today. Structure and being on grand. We can't afford to continue with structure and on grandness and wearing t-shirts and face caps and dancing at campaign grounds while the person who is campaigning to you is for the entire duration simply insulting the other people. Nothing to offer. Nothing. No intelligent conversation. No policy breakdown. Nothing. It just, they steal your money. Those people, they steal your money. Yeah, you see that? They no be foolish people. Should they be foolish people? See, And that's it. And that goes on for the next 2, 3, 4 hours, and people are dancing all over the place. And then after the dancing, you hear, they see your money, they did not steal your money, those people are useless people, waiting they be useless people. That's the campaign. That's it. Campaign done and dusted. You know. Goodness gracious. How did we get here? Anyways, do something. Do something. Because your life depends on it. So, from now till 7 o'clock, we'll keep the conversation going. A few matters on the agenda. I've got side comments coming up shortly. I've got a rant after that, taking us to 4. I'll get your take and mine. On today's rant till 4 p.m. 4 features the business news. After that, what do we have? Yes, oh yeah, something going on in Ebonyi State. Ebonyi to register native doctors. You know how that everywhere in the country, supposedly, reportedly, maybe even allegedly, governments are trying to fix the insecurity situation to address the rising wave of insecurity. Well, unsurprisingly, Ebonyi State is also cooking up their plans to resolve the situation. Ebonyi State Governor Dave Umahi has issued a 7-day ultimatum to native doctors and traditional medicine dealers to register with government agencies or face arrest and prosecution. Now, the governor gave this directive on Thursday after a security meeting with at Government House in Abakaliki, and said it was part of security measures in the state. He also imposed a curfew on the state's entry and exit points from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. with defaulters facing a 1 million naira fine. Governor Umahi banned social gatherings after 6 p.m., adding that violators would be fined 1 million naira. But I'm concerned about the ultimatum issued to native doctors and traditional medicine dealers to register with government agencies, and the Ebonyi State government say this is a security measure. I'd like to get your take on that. How the registration of native doctors is going to help address security concerns in Ebonyi State, and let's see, native doctors and traditional medicine dealers as well. In the 4 o'clock hour after the business news. That takes us to 5. We've got the news update coming up, and what's happened after that? Oh yeah, the rise in still insecurity discussions on the show today. Plenty of discussions regarding security situation. The rising wave of insecurity in River State and in the country will form the base of the discussion in the 5 o'clock hour as well. After the news update, I'll be joined by the chairman of Ikure local government area, the newly re-elected chairman of Ikure LGN, Honorable Samuel Wanasuki, will be my guest in the 5 o'clock hour after the news update. For that conversation, headlines 5:30, major news at 6 p.m. And open season afterwards till about 7 when we wrap it up. Extra time on the sports car comes up then. So that's the show today, pretty much, I suppose. We keep the ball rolling right now with today's side comments, random stories, random thoughts, or of mine, which will not be discussed at this time. So I got into the office earlier today, and sometime this afternoon before the show, and I got a letter. I was beckoned to by what's the word I'm looking for right now? By our standing receptionist, and I got a letter from. Now, I don't know if you want me to call your full name, so I'm just going to say the first name, Laura. Laura, it was a very, very interesting read, and it's quite fascinating. People don't write letters anymore. I mean, handwritten letters, that is. It's very rare. So I found it quite interesting, and I'm not I don't use flattery, and at the danger of sounding like I sound, I'm not really captured by a lot of things people write, or a lot of things that are written these days. So I found it a fascinating read, Laura. Thank you very much for taking the effort to write this. I found some of your ideas quite interesting. I wish I had an audience with you so we could bounce some things off each other, yeah. But sadly, Laura, there is no means by which I can reply or get across to you. No email, nothing here. So I don't know, because I guess this may have been hand delivered. So if Laura's listening, if there's any way I can get across to you, that would be fascinating. Once again, thank you very much, Laura, for writing to me and making the effort as well. All right, so let's see. And by the way, if you have access to email, I can be reached Dayo Nigeria Info at pardon me, that's a different one. That's what's the name again? Oh, yeah, it's Dayo at nigeriainfo.fm. Yes, DAYO at nigeriainfo.fm. So let's see what has caught my attention today as I checked out the news. FIDA in Rivers State says cases of incest are on the increase. Acting chairman of FIDA in the state, Nena Igbokwe, made this known when the organization took their awareness campaign to the government crap center Port Harcourt, and she urged the men to play their role in fighting the rising cases of incest in society. Let's hear what the acting FIDA person in Rivers State had to say about this situation. I think came across a longer version of the story earlier on, but I'll play this one. I'll be back in a moment. Where is it? I think it's 29:30. 29. It's not here. Oh, that's sad. Okay. Sorry, I can't find the sound right now. But it's very unfortunate, really. And I think the reason we might be experiencing an increase, if it is an increase, because there have been discussions as to whether we are witnessing an increase or with just in actual cases of rape or sexual assault or incest, or, all of this, or domestic violence, or we're simply witnessing a rise in reporting of the cases. And that argument, I know, has gone on for quite some time. But I seem to believe that we are witnessing a rise in actual cases and not just people reporting the cases. And the reason I feel so is this: when there is no punishment for a crime, it is very likely that the crime is going to increase. There will be a surge in that crime. And I think that a lot of things or people responsible for this, our traditional institutions, in my estimation, have largely failed in this regard. I mean, I can't count how many cases we've heard where, a matter of rape has been reported to traditional institutions or leaders in our various communities. And rather than deal with it, as custom demands, they're asking for money for goods. Elders here that receive a report that a child has been defiled or molested sexually by some moronic elder or old man in the village or in that community, and they're asking the mother of the victim or the parent of the victim to first provide money for drink and money for goods, and then after deliberation they will still ask for goods again for them to issue judgment. It's very appalling indeed. Maybe that's why His Excellency was accusing them of when Usman and Fodio capped the other day. But it's really sad. And then our gallant security officers, it's horrendous, really. The reports we get of when people report these cases, even at the police station, even when there is evidence that shows that this person raped this individual or committed a similar act. It's just, they tell you it's a family affair, go and sort yourselves out, or they pretend to be doing something, incarcerate the fellow, and then let the person go, possibly the day after, or even the same day, reportedly after having received something in the form of gratification from the accused. It's horrible, it's horrible. So I hope that we can take this matter seriously and provide protection for children, provide protection for females, and even for men as well, because they're also on the receiving end sometimes. Provide protection for people from sexual harassment. And not to say it will never happen, but the only way we can greatly reduce cases of this is when we ensure that perpetrators are punished. And that means elders must stop eating goat. They should go on a goat diet. Elders, if you don't eat goat for 1 week, you will not die. You can eat more vegetables to make you healthier also. Your cholesterol level will go down. and our police can also just do their jobs and not think about, not every time when you see somebody walk into the station, you're just seeing ATM machine. You're thinking, money has entered. You know, let's be professional. Let's do our jobs. Let's save our society. We're all in this together. We are all in this together, for better or for worse. So let's see, what else caught my attention today? Security alert in Abuja. Yes, honorables and excellencies are concerned. They are afraid, you know, so they have to provide extra security for them. Yeah. Oh, sadly. What else is it? The internet particularly caught my attention today. Oh, they spoke about the River State Police Command saying that the continued closure of courts has led to police cells being overcrowded. Namde Moni, the spokesperson, told our correspondent that the command is hopeful that the issues surrounding the juicing strike will be addressed so that the suspects can have their day in courts. Let's hear what Namde Moni had to say on the matter. Do I have this one? Okay, I do have this one.
Even though it's spilling over to us because our suspects would have been in court are not in court. I understand very clearly that our cells are congested. Those with high-profile cases like armed robbery, kidnapping, courtesy, murder, etc., they are still in our custody. And we pray that as soon as possible there should be a resolution of this impasse between Johnson and the federal government so that the system can flow as it ought to flow.
Understandably, because of the juicing strike, we will have a situation on our hands. But how about before the juicing strike? How about before that? How about just rounding people up and packing them into our prisons or the police cells and asking them to call their people to come bid? How about people we have kept in police cells and in prisons for months, for years without trial? How about that, for crying out loud? That has existed before this juicing situation. And know that will compound the juicing situation that we have on our hands right now. How about that? SP Namde Moni also said the DPOs can use their discretion in granting bail for minor offences as a way of decongesting their cells. Let's hear what he said about that. You know, sometimes it amazes me when we pontificate about the issues. It's almost like we're pretending to not be aware as to what those issues that are plaguing us are.
For other matters that are available, at the police level, or even at the level of
together, gentlemen, we're all in this together. And let's all bear, I understand the situation is a bit more trying for all of us. It's not convenient. It's not convenient for anyone, but let's understand right now that we all have to suffer some inconvenience, understand government's policy on the curfew, understand when the police put up blockades around police divisional headquarters and other locations. Let's bear, and to the police as well, be professional, be humane in your dealing with people. We're all Nigerians, we're all human beings, and a reminder, we're all in this together. Okay, I think I have to wrap this up right now. But I'm pressed for time. I promised. Yesterday I said I was going to have an Arsenal moment today. I said that. Well, the Europa League game did not go exactly according to plan. The Arsenal lost the game yesterday away in Spain against Villarreal 2-1. But there's a reason these games are two legs. So we're heading back to the Emirates shortly for the return leg. Don't worry. Arsenal will be victorious eventually and make it to the finals. I feel quite certain of that. I do want to have an Arsenal moment. I do actually. But I made a promise to a friend earlier today. Chibuzo Emmanuel Babydoll. I made a promise to him to play the Rivers United anthem. Even though I am primarily an Arsenal supporter. But I also support Rivers United as well. So I think I will just go because I don't have the time to do both right now. Wait, come on. Where is my Rivers United anthem? It's here somewhere. Oh, I'll find it. So I promised Chibuzori Mando I was going to do the Rivers United anthem today, and I'm simply going to do that right now in lieu of the Arsenal anthem. So here it is. I'll be right back. And so I'm going for a break now. When I return, today's round comes up. Do please stay with us and enjoy this one. And I wish Rivers United the very best as well.
United we shall triumph with a rainbow of sunshine. God is for us. We overcome all the giants and stand to conquer all. United, united, our pride with us. United, total victory. United, united, our pride with us. United, total victory.
We give the facts.
News entirely.
We give the evidence. Just to keep you informed.
News, weather.
I get my information top of the hour every hour.
92.3 Nigeria Info.
What we do goes beyond bringing you the news. We give you a chance to talk about it. Your opinion, your voice.
This is 92.3 Nigeria Info, Port Harcourt.
Your number one news, talk, and sports radio station.
And now, hard facts. Hard facts with Dion.
Hello, welcome back. It is Hard Factor 91.3 Nigeria Info here in Port Harcourt. I'm Dio, and I'd like to rant for just a bit. There's something in my mind. I'd like to express some thoughts in it, and you're welcome to express your thoughts and my thoughts all the way till 4 p.m. Now, here we go. Leadership is a lot of things, actually. Or maybe not a lot of things. You know, it all depends on your perspective, actually, and it depends on the point you're trying to make. But for the purpose of this conversation, I would say, or this round specifically, leadership can be a lot of things. But leadership is also primarily certain things. And I think I've said this several times on my show. Leadership, or the essence of being a leader, is not so that people can call you honorable or excellency. It's not so that you can tell people to shut up when you feel like it and they must shut up. It's not so that people will keep quiet and you're the only one who speaks until you want them to speak. It's not so that you can get in an armored bulletproof SUV, Mercedes or Range Rover or Lexus or Toyota Land Cruiser. No, it's not that. Leadership is not. It's not about Mopo and DSS protecting you. That's not what leadership is. And it's not about building big houses all over the place and they're saying, that man, in my estimation, is responsibility or to blame for something. Leadership is responsibility. Responsibility also is accountability. Identifying that the buck stops my table. And when things go wrong, when things don't go according to plan, when the policy fails or you even failed to come up with a policy in the first place, you take responsibility for it. That's leadership. I came across a piece on a Stanford Business Graduate School website, and it's a very interesting piece. Leadership is responsibility, not power. Not power. Not power. Leadership is responsibility, not power. If you have the time, take out time to read that piece. It will be worth your while. Unfortunately, in the Nigerian scheme of things, honorables and excellencies don't seem to get that concept. That leadership may be many things, but it definitely also means and includes responsibility, accountability. I don't get that. It's about, now I'm in office. Let me finish everybody. Let me finish there. Let them know that I'm now honorable. Excellency. And you find examples of this littered all over the place. Of leadership in Nigeria not understanding the concept of responsibility. And that's why when anything or everything goes wrong, they immediately blame everybody else but themselves. They immediately blame everybody else but themselves. I heard that somebody recently at the federal government level was blaming some incident in the 70s. I've forgotten who now. Was blaming some coup that happened decades ago as regard, for some of the issues that we're having right now. It's remarkable, but that's the kind of things that we hear in this country. And so, but why am I going on about this right now? So I also came across a story in the Punch earlier today, and this is captioned, "Unemployment, Labour Ministry lied, our statistics accurate," says NBS. But before I read this particular piece, because this is more recent, okay, so this was published today, I'll take you back to a previous piece when I was checking out the story. This was published on by Channels TV, April 29. World Bank has disputed Nigeria's employment statistics. That's Ngige who is saying that. Now here's that story. The World Bank has questioned the methodology employed by the National Bureau of Statistics to generate its employment statistics. Minister of Labour and Employment Chris Ngige revealed this on Wednesday while receiving the leadership of the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management in his office. Now, according to the NBS, in a report released in March, the country's unemployment rate rose from 27.1% in the second quarter of 2020 to 33.3% in the fourth quarter. Now, Ngige said the federal government will meet virtually with World Bank representatives on Thursday to discuss the modalities of the NBS's data gathering. Now, what this means is, at the time the Honorable Minister was making this comment, he hadn't even met with the World Bank reps yet. Now, he said, quote, "We have a virtual meeting of the National Economic Advisory Council with the World Bank to look at Nigeria's model." A little confusion there as to the accuracy of data generated by the NBS. So we want to align everything tomorrow. The World Bank says the NBS methodology doesn't conform with the global standard, especially the ILO format of arriving at such employment index. Ngige, who described the meeting as very important, recalled that he had severally queried the employment statistics released by the NBS. By the way, the National Bureau of Statistics is not sponsored by the international community. It's not sponsored by Amnesty International. Neither is it sponsored by Hezbollah or ISIS. The National Bureau of Statistics is an agency of the federal government of Nigeria. By the way, this particular federal government, the same federal government in which Honorable Minister Chris Ngige is serving in, released information that unemployment figures in Nigeria is at record high. Humongous numbers of Nigerians are unemployed or underemployed. So apparently, in a bid to suggest that the NBS's data is faulty, the Honorable Minister made this statement. But of course, the NBS replied, hence the headline I read out earlier on. Let's go back to that one. From the Punch newspaper. Unemployment. Labour Ministry lied. Our statistics accurate, says NBS. Here's the story. The National Bureau of Statistics took to social media platform Twitter on Friday to drag the Federal Ministry of Labour and Employment for faulting its employment statistics. Tweeting via its official handle at Nigerian Stat, the NBS said, contrary to the claim by the Minister of Labour and Employment, Chris Ngige, the Bureau's methodology for measuring the rate of unemployment in the country conforms with global standards. Ngige on Wednesday, while receiving the leadership of the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management in his office, said, quote, "We have a virtual meeting of the National Economic Advisory Council with the World Bank to look at Nigeria's modalities for employment statistics data collection. There has been a little confusion there as to the accuracy of data generated by the NBS. So we want to align everything tomorrow. The World Bank says the NBS methodology doesn't conform with the global standard, especially the ILO format of arriving at such employment index." End of quote. But replying on Friday, the NBS tweeted, quote, "The World Bank has denied making any such statement and rather, together with the Economic Advisory Committee, affirmed its confidence, commendation, support and close working relationship with the NBS. The World Bank can be contacted if in doubt." End of quote. Yeah. Yeah, that's a double whammy, I think, or a triple whammy from the NBS. So, Honorable Minister Chris Ngige, for whatever reason, and maybe rightly so, feels embarrassed by the figures released by an agency of the government he serves in, that we're not doing good. Unemployment figures are terribly high. Rather than the Minister of Labour and the federal government to take responsibility for that, it's almost like, I imagine that there was an emergency session. There may have been allegedly an emergency session where people were just running up and down, running all over the place. Emergency session was called, and somebody just asked, who do we blame for this? Who do we blame? Someone was thinking, we have blamed PDP for too long. That PDP thing will not sell again. No, we have blamed Jonathan. We can't blame IPOB for lack of jobs now. IPOB didn't take jobs away. We cannot blame. We can't blame NSAS for this one either now. What did the NSAS do? Can't blame them for this one. Hey, previous administration. No. We have used previous administration too much. Okay. So which one do we do now? Which one? Okay, no problem now. Let's just tell everybody that World Bank said NBS is wrong. And one intelligent person in that meeting allegedly may have said, but the NBS is in our government now. It's still part of our government. It doesn't matter. We can't blame anybody again. Let's look for somebody within the government. Just blame them. Just tell them that it's NBS. Don't worry. Afterwards, we tell them that NBS has been sponsored by the opposition. Don't worry. We'll get our Twitter goons to start circulating it that it's like the person heading. By the way, allegedly, Twitter goons will tell them that the person heading NBS, his senior daughter's first cousin's husband's niece, is married to an APC chieftain. No, a PDP chieftain. Just work it out. Just work it out. How much do people need for data? It's remarkable. So rather than looking what are we doing wrong, which is what the Ministry of Labour should be doing right now, taking the data from the NBS, getting all the experts, including the guys from the NBS, to sit down and try to figure this out. Where did we drop the ball? Yes, there was COVID, there was this, there was that, but beyond that, is there something we're not doing right? Is there something we can do better to get the jobs back and even add to the jobs? But rather than do that, it is easier to just say, World Bank say NBS is wrong. And NBS has said, World Bank did not say we are wrong. In fact, World Bank has thanked us for what we have done. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. And the question does arise in my mind, who is this government going to blame next? Watch out for that installment, because don't be surprised, somebody unbelievable will be blamed very soon by some government official in this country. On that note, I end my rant. Thanks for listening. Hope I did not bore you. Any thoughts? Let's hear it. Lines are open. 0817 923 0002 or 0003. 0817 923 0007 or 0009. We're live on Twitter at Facebook.com/NigeriaInfoPH as well. And I believe WhatsApp is on 0809 030 6416. That's 0809 030 6416 via WhatsApp. Where do I start from now? Okay, do I start with Twitter because I'm not getting any calls at the moment? But let's see. Oh, I got a call. Hello, Hard Facts, welcome.
Hello?
Hi, go ahead.
Hello, Dayo.
Hi, go ahead.
You will be the next president with blame now. You are going to be the next president that they will blame.
Oh, well. It's not impossible. The media has been blamed also. You know, the media has been blamed for always quoting them out of context. I forgot that one. The media is always quoting them out of context. Via Twitter at Ike0280 Twitter. Listening to the VI boy. Okay, I'll come to that in a moment. Hello, Hard Facts 913.
Yes, Mr. Dayo, good afternoon.
Hi, go ahead.
I'm okay, Mr. P. I'm calling from Port.
Go ahead, sir.
It's a strong one that you sent out this afternoon. The blaming game, I know that one, our blame game is over. If they have started to blame themselves, I'm glad, because I can see an end to blame instead of speaking up and doing the necessary things that are needed to be done for Nigeria to move forward. The next person to blame is the blamer himself. The blamer will blame himself. The blamer, because everything is going gaga. And when you tell them this one is wrong, they say it's political party. They go Pakistan. They go tribalistic. They go ethnistic. They go nepotistic. Immediately you say this is wrong. They go gaga.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite unfortunate. So let's keep watching. Let them begin to blame NBS. I know that they will blame themselves some days to come. Thanks.
You're welcome. Hello? All right. Via Twitter at Ike0280 tweets, listening to the VI boy doctor minister over the years has got me wondering if he understands the way the world works these days. He has continuously made wrong statements, very wrong statements, but how he failed to get away with it is what fascinates me. For instance, he said resident doctors pay to get into residency programs in the UK and the US. Basically trying to say the FJ is doing us a favor. Just little research shows that this is a lie. Our leaders lie openly because they feel we're all too dumb to call them out on it. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon, Dayo.
Good afternoon, go ahead.
It's Anita. I literally was just laughing at my heart. I don't know whether when the minister said make such statement, he was expecting Nigerians to travel to different planets for us to find out that it is lie or this. I just don't know. This government is busy throwing blame from year to year. I just don't know. You wake up this morning, you just cook up. I don't know how they expect us to just sit down and be looking at them as if we don't know what is happening.
I think I heard a baby's voice in the background.
Yes, so.
Oh, be careful. Your baby might be blamed soon for something.
Oh, God, that's there you go. You should not blame my innocent child because if you take his place, tomorrow they will blame me. Thank you very much, Lion. You're doing a good work.
Good to hear from you. Hello, Hot Flash. Welcome.
Hello, Dayo. Good afternoon.
Hi, go ahead.
I'm Mecca from Modley Road.
You're welcome.
Dayo, I want to take another position.
Yeah.
You know, what you are going through in Abuja is not easy. And then sometimes, you know, when the people blame us like that, you see my case, we don't know what we are doing. That's why sometimes we try to wave things out so we can still look relevant to the eyes of the society.
Oh my. Okay, let's see. Via Facebook. Edo goes all employment. Good day, go ahead.
My name is Aroma Chuku. I'm calling from Port Harcourt.
Go on.
I think they might blame Hezbollah for sponsoring ISIS and Boko Haram, making the country ungovernable.
Really?
And secondly, the media for the marketing the country.
Possibly.
That's the next problem.
Possibly.
And one man in Nigeria info called Dayo.
For what?
For hunting. Ranting and the marketing isn't your platform to the market the country and the state.
Oh, really? That's why Twitter went to Ghana, because of that.
Yes, because the media is supposed to be promoting the diversity and the uniqueness of the country, and always showing the bad part of the country. Telling the government to pay their workers. Why would you do that?
You may have a point there.
No, that's watch out. Keep your ears on the ground. You guys do. From Lai Mohammed.
All right, we'll see. Hello, 90.3.
Hello,
good afternoon. Go ahead, please.
I'm laughing here. I'm just laughing here because I know that very soon they will blame maybe the imam than the pastor. I think that is the next people that.
I think religious leaders have been blamed already. They've been blamed already. Yeah.
Okay. Maybe they may blame God for not,
Man, but that would be the height of it when they now blame God. I mean, that would be the record setter. Yeah.
Now we can't see the kind of politicians that we have in Nigeria. They play politics with everything. They play politics with our lives, and that's why sometimes when people tell me that I should pray for Nigeria, pray for our leaders. The people that you are praying for, and the daily prayers, they talk. Because if they read those prayers, you see the way they behave. The other day, like Mohammed explained the NSAS because of the Twitter headquarters that are decided in Ghana.
Yeah.
Anyway, one day, maybe like one of the callers has said, one day they may sound to blame them, or even blame Gary very soon. Because I know one day you may blame the head of state. Thank you very much.
Well, that would be something else, sir. That would definitely be something. Via WhatsApp. Good dial. They did not remember to Boko Haram to put the blame on. That's some Annie. Banditry and kidnapping are to blame. Hi, greetings. Do our leaders take their time to be professional in whatever they're doing? They're good in copying and pasting. Even the copy and pasting, they should do it well. Lying is a default among our leaders. I must say it's quite perturbing. That's blessing from Port Harcourt. Dio, my man, allegedly, like you're doing. Excellent, great to have from you. Dio, afternoon. IPOP is behind the increasing rate of unemployment in our dear country. His honorableness and excellenciness. That's from Eukarya. Dio, good day. Intelligence reports reaching me is that the DSS have uncovered plots that he positioned himself to be maliciously used by the opposition party to malign the efforts of the PNB-led FG. Accordingly, we are deploying the necessary tact to investigate and bring to light your illicit meetings with the opposition party to deal decisively with everyone involved. That's from McDonald in Port Harcourt. McDonald, that was a brilliant statement. I mean, McDonald, that was perfect. That was inch perfect. Even down to to everything. That was perfect, McDonald. That was perfect. George goes, in the absence of what's to blame, they will blame unemployment. Again, this is something else. George says, in the absence of what to blame, they will blame unemployment. I can't even get to the end of it. I will try. In the absence of what to blame, they will blame unemployment for not creating employable opportunities. George, that's a very good one. That's a very, very good one. Very soon they will blame unemployment for not creating employable opportunities. Wow. That's something. That's definitely something. So leaders in Nigeria should learn to take responsibility. You can't, if you're pointing fingers all the time, what the heck are you there? You've got no business there. Because leadership, once again, it's not about power. It's about responsibility. It's not about everybody being afraid of you. Once you move, people are shaking. You enter the conference hall, you enter the room, everybody is falling off their chairs. No. It's about responsibility. It's about accountability. We've got the business news coming up top of the hour at 4 p.m. And when I return, Ebonyi State government is asking native doctors and traditional rulers to register as a security measure. I like your reaction to that. And by the way, watch out. The question is, who is next to be blamed? That's a series. That is a series. That's a reality series title. I should get that copyrighted. Who is next to be blamed? Watch out.
Keeping up with political issues and developments around you, only on Nigeria Info.